Hey everybody, welcome back to Allie Camp Fitness. I'm Allie. Today we're going to be doing a 30-minute Vinyasa style yoga practice. We'll be moving a little bit more quickly than in the other videos I've posted, but I know you can do it. Go ahead and grab your mat, grab some water, and get comfy. Here we go. All right, here we go, Vinyasa. Let's all start in child's pose. You can choose whichever variation of child's pose you like. You can do knees together, feet together, or knees out wide, big toes together. Whichever variation you choose through the legs, let's make sure we send our hips back first, then allow the chest and the forehead to melt towards the mat. Let's all extend our arms forward. Start by taking a couple of deep breaths here. As you rest in your child's pose, begin to feel the length you're creating through the lower part of your spine. Taking this time to really enjoy the breath that's moving through your body. Evenly weighted through the in-breaths and the out-breaths. Finding balance through the breath, softness through your spine. Continuing to keep your hips moving down towards your heels, let's all crawl our fingertips forward just a little bit, finding some length through the side bodies, through the armpit area. Spreading your fingers wide, starting to find some activation in your child's pose. Let's take one more full cycle of breath here. With your next in-breath, gently pressing yourself up to hands and knees, table pose. Checking in with your foundation here. Fingers spread as wide as you can get them, every single knuckle pressing into the mat. Knees are hip width apart. When we look back between our knees, we can't see our feet because they're perfectly aligned behind our knees. Belly button is drawing up and in. We have energy moving out through the crown of the head, out through the sit bones. Finding some activation here. And with an exhalation, back of the heart presses to the sky, chin comes to your chest, cat pose. Inhaling, drop the belly down, pull your heart through, eyes lift. Follow the rhythm of your breath here. As always, working within your comfortable range of motion. Breathing length and space into your spine. Let's find our way back to neutral. Step your hands forward just slightly. Continue to spread wide through the tips of your fingers. Thumbs and index fingers pressing in strong. Let's tuck our toes and lift our hips, gently working into downward facing dog. Take your time here to pedal out your feet, shift your hips, shake your head, bend your elbows, explore what downward facing dog feels like in your body today. As always, our hands are about shoulder width apart. Feet are about hip width apart. We're sending hips to the sky, creating this perfect triangle shape with our bodies against the mats. As our heels sink down towards the earth, we find length through the calves, through the hamstrings. Core stay tight, and we breathe, beginning to cultivate strength. Let's start to find a little heat by pulling forward, plank pose. The top of your push-up position here. As always, you're invited to take knees to the mat if that feels more accessible. Wherever you are, find this strong, straight line of energy moving out through the top of your head, finding strength through the core. Let's exhale, piking the hips back into downward facing dog. Let's inhale, right leg reaches to the sky. Let's keep the left heel moving down towards the mat, breathing into a little hamstring space. Inhaling, plank pose. Can you keep your right leg lifted? If not, come back to your knees. Breathing, working your edge. Exhale, three-legged dog. Right leg reaches back to the sky. Inhalation moves to the tips of your toes, and with your next exhalation, you step through, lunge. As usual, if your foot doesn't make it all the way, grab onto your ankle, put your foot right where you want it. We lower the left knee, untucking the toes, maintain integrity through the core, and we float our arms to the sky, low crescent lunge. Just a few complete cycles of breath here. Softening shoulders, but extending up through the crown of your head, continuing to breathe into your longest space. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Inhaling, pull forward right into your plank pose. Let's all drop our knees, bend the elbows straight back, and control our upper bodies down onto the mat. Shoulder loop lifts the heart, baby cobra. Elbows are glued to the ribs and the toenails stay connected to your mat. Exhale, strong through the core, take it back, downward facing dog. Second side, let's inhale, left leg reaches long, right heel sinks down, hamstring space. Following the breath, we inhale, plank pose. Can you keep your left leg lifted? Little challenge. Exhale, three-legged dog, left leg stretching back to the sky. Following exhalation, we step through, lunge. Lowering the right knee, untuck the toes, strong core, inhalation brings fingertips to the sky. Begin to visualize your breath moving into your body all the way up to the tips of your fingers. You're grounding through the lower body, lifting up. You're so light through the upper part of your body. Exhaling, fold it back in, downward facing dog. Inhale, pull forward again, plank. Same thing here, we lower the knees, controlling the upper body all the way down. Baby cobra with a little shoulder loop here. Breathing in, gentle back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's take 3 deep, complete cycles of breath in your downward facing dog. Remembering that downward facing dog is a resting pose. So finding that space of relaxation here, finding your peace. And with your next exhalation, step or hop your feet forward, forward fold. You can start with you can start with feet hip width apart if you're having a lot of tension through the back side of the body. If you're feeling loose, go ahead and heel toe your feet together. We'll all take a generous bend through our knees, binding on to opposite elbows, and letting the upper body hang heavy over the lower body. Inhalations create length. Exhalations create softness. Continue to follow this rhythm. Breath guiding you through. Let's all release the bind through our arms. With an inhalation, let's take hands to shins, half lift, flatten out your back, squeeze the shoulder blades together behind you. Exhale, fold forward. Let's inhale all the way to standing, reaching to the sky, leading with your heart, finding so much length. Exhale, hands through center line. Inhaling, arms lift back to the sky, open up. Exhale, swan dive forward, leading with your heart. Knees are soft, hips are soft. Inhale, half lift, flatten your back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhalation brings you all the way up, reaching tall, again, leading with your heart. Exhale, hands through center line. One more time like that, half sun salutation. Inhale to grow tall. Exhale as you swan dive forward. Inhale into your flattest back. Exhale, fold. Root through the feet to rise up. Inhale, even more length. Gentle back bend at the top if that feels good. Exhale, hands to heart. Pause here and close your eyes. Check in with the rhythm of your heartbeat. Maintain the rhythm of your breath. If you find that your mind is wandering, gently reel it back in, finding presence and focus on your mat in your space right now. Your breath guides you. We inhale, arms back to the sky, lifting tall. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, find your half lift. Again, your flat back. Exhale, fold. Let's step it back, plank pose. With your breath, we lower the knees or keep them lifted. Exhaling halfway or all the way down. Inhaling, baby cobra, or take it up into upward facing dog. Strong through the core. Exhale, downward facing dog. And breathe. Again, in our downward facing dog, our resting pose. Finding your strength with each inhalation. Exhalations, letting go, surrendering. With your next exhalation, step or hop your feet forward, back into your forward fold. Inhale, half lift, reset through the spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, all the way back up, reaching tall. Exhale, hands to heart. Again, like that, sun salutation. We inhale, opening up, even more length, grow tall. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step it back, plank. Your choice, knees lowered or lifted, halfway or all the way down. Inhalation lifts you into your back bend, baby cobra or upward facing dog. Whichever position you're in, roll your shoulders back here and lift up through the crown of your head. Strong through the belly button, we pull back, downward facing dog. Find your breath, find your restoration here. Your strength, your peace, your quiet space. Your next exhalation brings both feet forward, landing in your forward fold. Inhale, half lift, super flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, all the way up, reaching tall. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, one breath, one movement. We exhale, folding in. Inhale, half lift, flatten your back. Exhale, fold. Again, we step it back, plank. With your breath, halfway or all the way down, chaturanga. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhale, strong core, downward facing dog. From here, let's lift the right leg up to the sky, stepping it through on an exhalation. Set your foundation, squeeze your legs in towards each other. Let's inhale, both arms to the sky. As always, if it feels better in your body, you can drop the back knee for a little bit more support. If your left knee is lifted, press back through the heel, finding a little bit more length, maybe a super delicious calf stretch. Let's all exhale, hands come together in front of the heart, and we'll twist open to the right, hooking the left elbow on the outer edge of the right knee. Strong straight line of energy, elbow to elbow. Gaze turns up to meet the sky, working a little bit of balance. With an inhalation and a strong core, we take both arms back to the sky, crescent lunge, exhale, pivot plant the left heel, warrior two. We have heel to arch alignment. Our right toes are pointing straight to the front of our mat. Left toes are pointing to the long edge of our mat. Our arms are parallel with the earth. Our gaze turns forward. We breathe. We enjoy this fiery sensation that we're creating through the right leg. With an exhalation, cartwheel your hands down, step it back, plank pose. Following your breath, Vinyasa, linking breath with movement. Exhale as you lower, halfway or all the way. Inhaling your back bend, upward facing dog or baby cobra. Exhalation brings you into downward facing dog, and we reset here. Deep, even breath. Focused space. Inhale, let's take the left leg high to the sky. Exhale, step it through. Same movements, second side. Inhale, arms to the sky, find your crescent lunge. If you're taking the option with your right knee down, go ahead and lower it now. Muscles squeezing in towards center line to find strength. Exhale, hands to heart. Twist it open to the left. Right elbow is hooking the outer edge of the left knee. Same thing, elbow to elbow, nice and straight. Gaze turns up to the sky. Core is tight. Initiate the next movement from your belly button. Inhaling, arms to the sky, crescent lunge. And we exhale, pivot planting the right foot, sinking in, warrior two. Go through your checklist, find your foundation, equal weight distribution through both feet. Let's take a little bit of external rotation through the left knee, making sure the knee is tracking right over the toes. Strong core, use your breath here, use your breath to decrease that sensation of lactic acid building in your knee, your quad area, rather. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down, step it back, plank. Let's take a free inhalation in our planks, finding some core strength. And an exhalation, halfway or all the way down. Inhale, upward facing dog, baby cobra, your back bend. Heart reaches forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. From here, lower your knees out wide. Send your hips back, child's pose. Find a few restorative breaths here. Checking in with the long rhythm of breath that you created in the beginning of our practice. And slowly walk your hands back towards your knees, rolling it up through the spine. Let's sit up on our shins and take a couple of shoulder loops backwards. Continue to work with a strong core here, just holding that space. Let's take the backs of our hands down to the mat. Taking an opposition stretch through the wrists. We just did a lot on our hands, taking care of the wrist joint. With the breath, we exhale, making fists, or something that looks kind of like fists. Inhale, opening the fingers wide. Exhaling, squeezing back into that fist. Following your breath a couple rounds here. Last one. And slowly release the wrists, taking a couple of wrist circles each direction. Cross your ankles behind you and send your feet through. Take your hands behind you and find your sit bones. Fingertips face forward. We'll inhale, feet up, knees up. The knees are at 90 degrees. If this is totally easy, go ahead and release your hands, boat pose. With an exhalation, let's come halfway down, half boat. Inhale, lifting up. Remember, you can have your hands behind you for a little bit of support. Exhaling, halfway down, legs extend, energy moves out through the toes. Inhale, lifting tall, stretch through your heart. Again, like that. And we lift. One more round. We lift up and back down, half boat pose. Breathing, holding, hollow your belly, pull your belly button up and in. Exhale, lower. Take a full body stretch with your inhalation, finding length through the fingertips, length through the toe tips. And exhale, hug both knees into your chest. Lift your head, lift your shoulders, wrapping yourself up in a big hug. And exhale, heels to the mat. Walk your heels in towards your hips. Feet are hip width apart, knees are hip width apart. With an inhalation, press into your heels. Send your hips up towards the sky. Exhale, lower them back down, lengthening the spine as you go. One more time like that. Inhale, hips lift. And exhale, they lower. You can continue to go through this rolling bridge pose if that feels good. Or this time, we can lift up. Walk the shoulder blades beneath the shoulders, interlace fingers behind our backs, and breathe here, static bridge pose. Checking in, core is activated. Our legs are energetically drawing towards each other at hip width apart. Again, working that isometric contraction, contraction without action. Chins are tucked toward chests to prevent injury through the neck. Breath is even. If your hands are clasped, go ahead and release them, lengthening the spine as we settle it back to the mat. Let's take a few windshield wipers here. As always, neutralizing the lower back space. Let's bring knees back to center. Walk your feet out mat width apart and allow the knees to rest against one another. Close your eyes if you haven't already. Enjoying a gentle release of the lower back. Slowing the pace. Gently work your heels and toes back towards each other. Allow the knees to come out wide. Reclined bound angle pose. Breathing into gentle space through your adductor muscles. Beginning to allow the weight of your body to settle into the earth. Piece by piece, letting the body weight grow heavy. With an exhalation, use your hands to help your legs together. Inhale into a full body stretch. Exhale, hug your knees towards your chest. Lift your head, lift your shoulders. One more time, a big hug. Let's take our first two fingers, peace fingers, we call them in yoga, and wrap them around our big toes. Send the balls of your feet to the sky. Knees come back towards your armpits. Happy baby pose. You have the option to stay here, or maybe extend one leg overhead and then the other. Rock back and forth and side to side. You can make baby noises if you want. Working out any final kinks. As you feel ready, extending one leg out onto your mat and then the other. Feet roll away from each other. Hands rest slightly away from the body with your palms facing the sky. Closing the eyes if they aren't already closed. Allow everything, even the awareness within your breath, to disappear as we find our way into our most challenging pose, our conscious relaxation practice, Shavasana. Softly run your thumbs over your fingertips. Wiggle your toes, circling wrists and ankles, inviting movement back into your physical body. And as you feel ready, roll to a fetal position on the right side. Continuing to connect with the sensation of the earth supporting the weight of your body. Eyes closed, head heavy, press yourself up to a comfortable seat. We'll bring our hands together in front of our hearts. Breathing in to our peaceful, strong space. With each in-breath, finding a little bit more peace. Exhalations allow you to let go of all that does not serve you. Enjoying what you're finding here. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings in all places be happy and free. Namaste. Thank you all so much for joining me again today. I just wanted to take a moment to talk about what's going on in our world right now with coronavirus and quarantine. Everything feels really heavy. We feel very isolated as we're all staying home and not going about our normal social interactions. So I challenge you, as you move through the rest of your day, think of one way, 5 ways, however many ways you can come up with to create community without actually being in the presence of other people. Whether it be offering help to somebody who needs help, writing a letter, doing a favor, whatever you can come up with, start to think of ways that we can create community in this time of isolation. I think that if we do that, we'll all come out on the other end closer, stronger. Perhaps this is a unifying time for us after all. Do your best, be kind to yourself, and drink lots of water. Thank you.